Hello, hello, social media world. We are live. Hello, hello. All right, let me get the comments pulled up here. Happy Wednesday to y'all. If you guys are jumping on live, please say hello. Let me know where you are watching from. If you're going to catch this on the replay, like most people, drop the word replay down below and let me know where you're watching from because I'm streaming this all over the place. We're on Facebook, we're over on YouTube, we're on my business page, in my group, and I think that's it. So say hello. Let me know where you are watching from. This is Sonia coming to you live from Minnesota, where it's actually like 37 degrees outside. I'm so excited, you guys. I feel like it's summer again. I mean, maybe the bikini will come out. Well, maybe not, but you hear me. So again, this is Sonia, otherwise known as your dietitian with a mission, coming to you live. We've got some really exciting stuff to talk about today. We're going to talk about tummy problems because I think it's a really relevant thing. So say hi down below in the comments. Let me know you are here. Everything's a little bit delayed, so please do make sure you say hi. And if you really want to be bold and wild and crazy and let me know if you have struggled with any digestive issues, I would love to know because I'm going to be the first one to raise my hand and say that even though I'm a dietitian and most people think I eat perfectly and have never had any issues, I've had probably more issues than you can count. And that is for another day. But really my goal in life is to take everything I've learned and merge that with everything that I've had to experience because I believe that God gives you things in your life, we'll call them challenges, obstacles, whatever you want to call them, for a reason. Because if you can overcome those obstacles, then you can share things that can help other people move forward. So if you found something that is really helpful for you in overcoming digestive issues, whatever those might be, and there's a lot of them these days, go ahead and drop those down in the comments because I would love to hear some of the things that you've struggled with and what you've done to overcome those. Okay, so let's dive right in because we've got some really important things to talk about. So if you guys know me, again, I'm a registered dietitian, nutritionist, and certified diabetes educator. Say that 10 times fast. So you're always going to hear me talk food first. There is a lot of buzz out there about supplements, and yes, they're very, very relevant, and I use them and I love them, and there are a lot of things that have changed in my life because of them, but I'm always going to preach food first. Okay, so number one thing on the list of 5 simple things that can help you really turn around some of the digestive issues that you may be struggling with on a daily basis. The first one is food. So let's talk about food more specifically, and what do I mean by that? So you hear me talk a lot about plant-based and plant-based ideas, whether that's plant-based protein or eating more plants, drinking more plants, all of the above. But not just plants. Think about a variety of foods because every food that you eat, every color plant that you eat provides you with different vitamins, minerals, nutrients, different things that actually nourish your digestive system. Okay, so I just have a couple of things here. So obviously, there's never a debate over eating too much green, right? So these are just microgreens. I love these. If you use microgreens, one of these days I'm actually going to be bold and grow them myself because I need to get one of those tower gardens that everybody is so in love with. But for now, we buy them from the local co-op. So these are microgreens. They're baby greens. And when they're young like this, they're so nutritious and so healthy for you. So get some microgreens in your life if you haven't tried them. These are actually spicy microgreens. So they're one of my favorites. So green, definitely always more green. So whether you're eating green or you guys have probably seen me posting about drinking green too. So this is actually a combination of some super greens that I drink along with my custom nutrition. So you can eat the greens, you can drink the greens. For me, it's a combination of these things, but definitely getting more green into your diet, but also other colors too. So this is, again, this is an organic pre-cut up mix that I bought, but notice in here, we've got green, red, orange, very colorful vegetables because each one is going to provide you with different nutrients. So more color into your diet. And then of course, cruciferous vegetables, because what they do is they actually sweep a lot of the toxins and things out of your digestive tract. So if you can get a lot of cruciferous vegetables like kale or cabbage or broccoli or cauliflower, this one happens to be a coleslaw mix, but of course, you can use it for anything. So lots of cruciferous vegetables to help dig a lot of that toxic ick out of your digestive system, because when you remove toxic junk from down below, you have a more regular digestive system, and therefore things just work a little bit better. Okay, so number one, eat a variety of different colored plants or drink your plants or a combination of those things. So it is a goal, and most people will fall short of this, even myself, right? To consume 5 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables per day. And take that a step further and think about what's in season, because of course, things that are in season right now here in the middle of January are not in season in, of course, the middle of the summer. So think about what's in season, try to focus on that. But, of course, using things that are frozen. So I do a lot of frozen berries that I can add to smoothies or protein shakes. Those are all good things to have around when those are not freshly in season. Okay, so number one on the list was eat a variety of colorful plants. Very simple. Number two on the list, we're still going to stick with the food category for a second, is actually fermented foods. So what are fermented foods? Hi, everyone that's jumping on. Comments are a little delayed, so let me know where you're watching from, and thank you for your kind words. I appreciate it. So number two, fermented foods. So let's talk about what falls under that category. So fermented foods could be things like, this is probably one of my favorites, is kombucha. And I have a lot of different brands. I'm not pitching this brand. This is just one that I love. It's Kavita, lime, mint, coconut. But there's a lot of different flavors. You can get seasonal flavors. The thing you need to be careful with kombucha, though, is that you're not getting something that's laden with sugar, because there are some that unfortunately are more juice than anything else. So just be careful when you're buying kombucha. But definitely you want to make sure that you include some fermented foods. So other fermented foods with things like tempeh, or, when I was talking about cabbage earlier, you can get fermented cabbage or sauerkraut or kimchi. I think I've said kimchi already, but nonetheless, it's fermented sauerkraut. Let's see here. You can find all kinds of fermented, like kefir. Everybody says it a little different, but kefir. And whether you drink dairy or not, you can find coconut milk version. Some of the yogurts and things have added cultures to them. I mean, there's a lot of ways to get fermented things into your diet. So including a serving, I would encourage you to get 1 serving of fermented foods. And the simplest way for me is grab a bottle of kombucha. And, there's usually a lot of times there's 2 servings in a bottle. So drink half a bottle of kombucha every day. Very simple. Knock that one off the list. Okay. And why is that important? Because there's a lot of healthy bacteria in kombucha. And the whole idea of creating just that healthier gut environment that gets rid of your digestive issues is to get more of the good bacteria down there and get rid of the bad stuff. Okay. So we need to do things that populate good bacteria in our gut. And then in a moment, I'll talk about some things that we remove that cause more problems and inflammation. But putting good stuff in on a daily basis can make an enormous difference. San Diego fresh fruits and vegetables. Okay, I'm so envious of you. I want fresh fruits and vegetables year round. Well, here in Minnesota, that's really not a reality. Even though if you know us in the summertime, we have 3 organic gardens, and almost our entire backyard is a garden, which is so cool. But in the wintertime, that becomes a little bit more challenging. So San Diego, I envy you. You love kombucha. What's your favorite? I would love to know everybody else's. It used to be 5 years ago, you go to the store and you get kombucha and there's like 3 kinds to choose from. Now it's go to the store, especially like a food co-op or Whole Foods. You walk in there and you're like, okay, which one do I choose? Because there are so many. Okay, but that's good because there's something for everybody. So fermented foods, that is number 2 on the list. Number 3, I want you to think about some things that you can remove, because part of this is putting good stuff in. Part of it is getting rid of bad. So I hate to stereotype and put everything in a category together, but we're going to do it today. But I'm going to tell you that if you're a person that tolerates these foods, I never believe that you have to 100% eliminate anything, because realistically, we live in a world where we just have to do the best we can. But to say we're just going to eliminate foods unless we have a significant reason to, I don't believe that's something that most people can do realistically their entire life. Now, for me personally, I have a significant issue with gluten. I've been gluten-free for almost 14 years. Now, that said, if I somehow get what I call get glutened, so it sneaks into my world somehow, I end up with major problems the next day, like major. You don't even want to be around me. So I won't go there. But anyway, you don't want to be around me. So with that said, when you think about inflammatory foods, gluten and dairy are probably two at the top of the list. Now, there's some debate over things like soy and eggs and, other foods as well, but I'm going to focus mostly on gluten and dairy because they can be more inflammatory to the body. Now, that said, there are some sources of it that are better than others. So things like, ancient grains, for example, if you don't have a gluten intolerance, you could use, sprouted grains. You could use what is the word? Spelt. Spelt is one that's an ancient grain. So you can use spelt flour instead of wheat flour. For those of us that need to entirely stay away from gluten, it's very, very important that you do exactly that, right? But that being said, if you're able to consume gluten itself, you want to choose better sources of it, such as, you hear about sourdough bread being a better option, or as I mentioned, your sprouted grains or things that are made with spelt flour versus whole wheat, that kind of thing. But by and large, if you can reduce the amount of gluten in your world, you're reducing the amount of inflammation in your gut. The same thing would hold true for dairy. Okay, so dairy is another thing that can be very inflammatory. Now, if you're going to consume dairy, there are some sources that are better than others. Things like raw dairy, so raw cheeses, for example, or cheeses that are more aged, like Parmesan cheese is going to be a better choice than, something that is a non-aged cheese. But doing your best to limit sources of gluten and dairy will reduce the inflammation in your gut so that all this beneficial stuff that you're doing works a heck of a lot better. Okay, so that was number 3. Really watch the amount of gluten and dairy in your diet. Number 4, so now I'm going to shift gears away from food a little bit, and I'm going to talk about some things that you can do to actually nourish your gut a little bit. So over the years, when we eat a lot of these inflammatory foods, unfortunately, sometimes what happens is we create microscopic little holes in our gut, which sounds really gross. Some people develop something called leaky gut, which, again, we're not here to talk about leaky gut, but you can go out there and research it. It is not a good thing. But basically what happens is, because there's been so much inflammation in your digestive tract for so many years, these little microscopic holes are created, and your food and the things that go through your digestive tract essentially begin to leak out into your bloodstream. And then you feel lousy, you have fatigue, you're exhausted, you feel gross. Okay, so we want to do some things to heal the gut lining. So one of the things that you can do on a daily basis, which I absolutely love, you've heard me talk a little bit about collagen and how that is so beneficial. Well, it's one of the biggest things that it does is actually helps to heal the digestive system, helps to heal your gut, make sure that it stays healthy down there. I love hydrolyzed collagen. There are 2 that I use on a daily basis that I have really noticed a tremendous difference, not only with my gut health, but hair, skin, nails, all that. I always say my skin looks and feels better than it did 10 years ago. So I use 2 different kinds of collagen. I use one in the morning that has hydrolyzed collagen, but it also has CLA, which is conjugated linoleic acid, which can help with a little additional fat burning. Who doesn't want that? But the thing I love about it is it tastes like chocolate pudding. So I just put it on a little spoon and I eat it every morning. It's amazing. It's so good. And then at night, I use another collagen that actually is wonderful for really repairing your gut as you sleep, but also hair, skin, and nails. And that one I just take a shot of every night before bed. So collagen is one of the best ways to actually work with everything else you're doing to make sure you've got a healthy gut lining. So definitely think about collagen. And if you need some additional information about collagen, what kind to use, you guys, there are so many bad ones out there. And that's a whole nother discussion. I did a live on that not too long ago. But you want to make sure that the source of collagen that you're using is hydrolyzed and easy for your body to absorb. And don't waste your money on the powdered stuff unless you're baking muffins with it. Liquid collagen makes a huge difference. Okay, so hydrolyzed liquid collagen. Okay, and then number 5, pre and probiotics. So a lot of the foods that I talked about, great sources of pre and probiotics. Because again, as we remove the bad stuff, we also want to populate the gut with good bacteria. When you have good bacteria in beneficial amounts down below, The pipes just work a lot better. Everything just works better. When you have a healthy gut, you have a healthy immune system. That is so incredibly important, especially in the world we're living in right now, that 70% or more of our immune system lives in our gut. So this stuff is very, very important. When we talk about immune health, it starts in your gut. So get back to the color. Make sure you are consuming the color, but also foods that are also high in pre and probiotics. Like I talked about today, the fermented stuff, the greens that I love actually have pre and probiotics and digestive enzymes added to them. So that again works really good with your gut flora to really just improve how things are. This is a brand that I love. It's organic. It's 7 super greens. Not only gives me 2 to 3 servings of vegetables that I might be missing when I eat, but also gives me the pre and probiotics and the digestive enzymes, because that's another component of this that can help really heal your gut, is making sure you have pre and probiotic fiber, but also digestive enzymes, because that just helps everything work a little bit better. And then last but not least, probiotics, of course, starts with food. But I get a lot of questions about probiotic supplements. Should I take one? Should I not? So if you guys know anything about me, I don't advocate popping a lot of pills, because I think always food first. Not only food first, but supplements, if you do use them, you want to make sure that they're absorbed by your body. So it's not what you take, it's what you absorb. So you guys have heard me talking about some other supplements that I use that come in a drop form. And I thought I had them here, but I don't. So that's for another day. But they're essentially like healthy candy. You suck on them and your body actually absorbs the nutrients through your mouth. But when we talk about pre and probiotics, thinking about things that don't necessarily come in a capsule form. So there's a couple that I love. Some of these I'm an affiliate for, some of them I am not. So this is not a pitch about products. I just want to give you some realistic ideas that will help you keep your gut healthy. Okay, so I use a soil-based probiotic that you just spray into your mouth. This is all, again, just how it sounds, soil-based, plant-based. But then I also have discovered a one that I really, really love that is not in a capsule form. As a matter of fact, it's just a little stick here. You don't even need to put it in water. You literally just open it up, pour it into your mouth. It's very affordable. It tastes good. And it's amazing because it's actually very, very well absorbed, and it doesn't get gobbled up by the digestive juices down below. Okay. So it's not just about what you take, it's what your body absorbs. So don't waste your money on things that come, in a capsule form that your body may or may not absorb, when there are plenty of other ways to do this, whether that's through the greens, the food you eat, the probiotics that your body actually absorbs. There are a lot of different ways to get this stuff into your body without swallowing things in a capsule. Okay, so there you have it. 5 things that you can do. And these are simple things that you can do that, if I promise you, if you do them consistently each and every day, your gut health will improve for good. Because when you have a healthy gut, you have a healthy you. Okay, so I hope you guys found value in this information. And if you did find it helpful and you want to share this with other people, go ahead and smash the share button. Share this video with as many people as you'd like, because I think gut health is a real big topic right now, and it's also a real big problem. So if we can have more people have a healthy gut, we're going to have more healthy lives on our planet, which is what it's all about. And if you like this information and you'd like to learn a little bit more, have some recipes, learn about any of the supplements that I recommend, go ahead and drop the word group down in the comments, and I'll be sure to extend an invite to my group here on Facebook, where I share a lot of health and wellness information. So my dog is barking. So with that, I'm going to say peace out. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And thank you so much for watching. Take care and stay well.